today I'm in my kitchen. I wanted to take you guys around and show you some of my favorite pantry staples. These are ingredients I always keep on hand, and I like to throw them together to make healthy, easy, nutritious meals. First, looking at some of the grains I like to keep around the house. So brown rice is one of them. It's one of my favorites. You can make stir fries with this. Pasta is an easy one to keep around the house for quick dinners. This one is a brown rice and quinoa pasta. So I like to try to pick a whole grain pasta. This is the one I currently have, but I definitely try different brands all the time, and they have like red lentil pastas and all sorts of things. Farro is one of my favorite grains. This is an ancient grain. It's high in protein and high in fiber. You cook it on the stove top about 7 to 10 minutes. You could throw it in salads. You could throw it in like warm veggie bowls and soup. So this is a really great grain to have. You can use quinoa for all of the dishes I just mentioned. And just like farro, it's high in fiber and high in protein. So it's a really great grain to have around, and you can cook it up in about 10 minutes as well. And then oats is one of my favorites. I love having oats for breakfast. I can blend these and bake with them. You could make overnight oats, all sorts of things. Now moving on to some of my go-to shelf-stable protein options. So first we have some canned beans. Garbanzo beans are one of my favorites. I like to roast them, throw them on salads, eat them as a snack. So these are great to have. I also really like black beans. Some of the grocery stores are kind of lacking in the canned bean section right now. So you can always get dried beans if those are available. They just take a little longer to cook up, but they're still a really good option to have around the house. Nut butters are something I always have. Right now it's peanut butter, sometimes it's almond butter, sometimes it's cashew butter. This is just a really great source of protein along with healthy fats. I do like to get the nut butters with just the one ingredient. I try to avoid getting nut butters with a lot of added sugar. And then I also like to have some whole nuts around. So right now it's walnuts and almonds, but again, I like to switch it up to get a variety of nutrients. And these are great to make trail mix, to snack on, to bake with. Finally, we got some canned tuna. This is just an easy, healthy protein to throw into a salad, throw on a sandwich, put it in a wrap, make a tuna salad, and it's shelf stable, so I like to keep some of these around. Finally, some random items that I always keep in my pantry. So first, I like to have at least one jar of pasta sauce for the nights I'm feeling a little lazy and not really wanting to spend a whole lot of time cooking. I also like to have either crushed or diced tomatoes in the pantry. That way I can make my own homemade pasta sauce. I can also make an enchilada sauce. I can throw this in a pot of soup. So lots of different purposes. I like to keep a few cans of these. Dried fruit is great for a snack or baking with it, throwing it in salads. So right now I have cranberries and dried apricots. Again, I like to look at the ingredients and try to find the ones that don't have a whole lot of added sugar. Fruit is already sweetened in itself. It's natural sugars. So this one's great because it's just the organic apricots. Doesn't have a whole lot of other things thrown in there. 1 or 2 chicken broths or vegetable broths on hand to make soup or sauces with. Finally, I like to have a shelf-stable milk. I really like almond milk. You could also do like soy or oat milk. So over here, I have some of my favorite spices that I use on a daily basis. So salt and pepper, of course, is a typical go-to for anyone. Garlic powder and onion powder are ones I use on the regular. It's just a good way to add some flavor to your meals, and especially if you don't feel like cutting up the garlic and mincing it, garlic powder is a good alternative. Paprika, this you can see is empty, so I need a new one, but paprika is one of my favorites. It goes great on like roasted veggies or sweet potatoes, or if you're making like black beans or a soup even. If you like some spice, red chili flakes are great. I throw them on pretty much any type of cuisine to just add a little kick to it. And then chipotle powder is great for beans or like a Mexican dish or tacos. And then some of like the green seasonings I like to use are basil, oregano, and thyme. Basil and oregano are really good in Italian dishes. And then thyme I love to put on like roasted garbanzo beans or other roasted veggies. And then cinnamon is one of my favorite seasonings for like breakfast items. So oatmeal, cold cereal, toast with nut butter. I also love to bake with cinnamon, so I'm always using this on a daily basis. And then one of my favorite fun seasonings is the Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning. You can put this on toast or an egg or really anything. It's delicious. So those are some of my absolute favorites.